Hello everybody, video here for you today. This is the retro no-cap recap of the Curse of Oak Island Season 6, Episode 16 called Detour, originally aired in March 2019. If you missed my recaps of previous and future episodes, there's a link to my Oak Island playlist in the upper right. Let's get into it. Boo-doo-doo-doo. Previously, on the Curse of Oak Island, people have been looking for an incredible treasure for 229 years. We start in the war room talking about the dye test from the previous episode. Although the dye went nowhere else that was noticed, or at least reported on the show, it did make its way to Smith's Cove. There's just one problem: the crane pad that provided a stable surface to build the sheet piling dam is on top of where they suspect the convergent point of the finger drains to be. They decide to go through the trouble of moving the wood and earth of the crane pad, leaving the dam in place for continued excavation. They will have to get multiple government permits to do so. Meanwhile, work on the other findings continues in Smith's Cove. Billy clears the area around the slipway, and the team hand excavates the slipway itself to try to find out more about it. Searcher Gilbert Hedden originally discovered the slipway in 1936. Gary Drayton metal detects and gets an iron it, as he says. It's hand forged, and he thinks it's more of a weapon than a fastener. There's bad news in the money pit area as Vanessa Lucido, owner and CEO of Rock Equipment, informs Rick and Marty that it's too dangerous to continue excavating borehole H8 after the recent collapse by the earth around the caisson. Disappointed but undaunted, the team has decided to try to reach the money pit via a documented way to get there: Shaft 6. "11 weeks prior, the team found evidence of an 1800s searcher tunnel they think is Tunnel 6, which was dug from Shaft 6 in an attempt to bypass the flood tunnel system. When those searchers were almost at their target, the tunnel and shaft flooded as well." Diver Tony Sampson joins the team in the war room to go over LiDAR and side-scan sonar data recently done on the South Shore. They ask Tony to check out several targets, including this object that is sticking out of the bay floor. He will also be looking for any evidence of the believed second flood tunnel system. There's also what the team thinks is an anchor. The rare shot of the week is this one, looking east and slightly north. At the bottom is the upper half of the Women's Memorial / garden shaft, and to the left of the big tree behind it is Borehole 10X. Continuing up past all of the trucks is Smith's Cove, Mahone Bay, and then Frog Island in the distance. As Larry continues excavating the slipway, Surveyor Steve Guptill meets Rick, Marty, Doug, and Dan Hinsky in the research center. They ask Steve to combine all the previous searcher drilling documentation to try to confirm the exact location of Shaft 6. Steve says it sounds interesting and sounds fun. I'm pretty sure he has been with the team ever since. Tony and Alex are diving. Jack and Peter are on the boat as emergency diver and comms, respectively. They find rocks they think is the triangle-shaped object. They're covered with vegetation. The governmental regulations are no touching or disturbing any items on the bay floor. All you can do is look. Tony gets the compass reading and says it's pointing northeast towards the money pit. Since the formation is covered with vegetation, the editors kindly outline it in red. They relocate to the area of the possible anchor and find that it's just a couple of rocks. Alex here says, I think if you were sensitive to disappointment, you would not be on Oak Island. That much is certain. He looks at the bright side and says, at least we know more than we did this morning. Laird has finished excavating the slipway. Now he will meticulously detail the layout of it, and the team will carefully disassemble it so they can excavate under it. As stated on previous episodes, there were no fasteners holding it together. The team thinks on purpose so that it would be easier to pull heavy things across it. Laird confirms that it extends past the dam and it's visible at low tide. He goes on to say that it's bigger than you would need to haul a fishing boat on shore, and the logs are too close together to haul a big ship up. Marty says you would need them that close for a cart full of gold, though. Craig asks why they wouldn't have used a wharf instead, and Laird responds, there are some people that feel they want to keep things secret, so it's a low, almost no profile. The editors provide this animation as the best case scenario. Gary Metal detects a hinge, he says, as an oldie in recent spoils from Smith's Cove, perhaps the area near the slipway. Narrator Robert Clotworthy does not tell us where, but does say those spoils were 6 feet under the seafloor. This episode has already had the first appearance of Steve Guptill. Now it is the first appearance of Carmen Legg to do the first instance of Oak Island artifact Carmen dating. Marty, Alex, and Doug travel 20 miles north of Oak Island to New Ross to meet him. The first items are crib spikes that he Carmen dates 1650 to 1800. Marty later says the funny thing about the crib spikes is that there were only a few of them. There would be a lot of them generally, but maybe there's a cribbing we haven't found yet. Carmen dates the Inge, as Gary says, as early 1600s, and says it would be for a door, but more robust than a door of a house. Doug votes floodgate, and Carmen says it's possible. I'll be continuing retro no-cap recaps of seasons 6 through 8 during the summer and early fall. All of the other episodes are already done or in my Oak Island playlist. I'm also doing no-cap recaps of the current season of The Secret of Skinwalker Ranch, and those debut late Tuesday nights. And that now has its own playlist, and I'll eventually start doing retro no-cap recaps of seasons 1 through 4 of that series. Thanks so much for watching. Please subscribe, like, and comment. Siempre avanti.